extensively about Dieta, and we're just doing a quick recap because we had to pause it for a second. But basically, I asked Jonathan Miller to explain what are the aspects of Dieta, what is Dieta, what does that encompass, and what are some of the challenges that somebody might expect who is trying to take on a plant Dieta.
Well, the fundamental essence of the dieta is to learn to concentrate one's energy. It's not so much about like what food you eat or what food you don't. It's about concentrating one's energy so it can be refined and piercing, so it can pierce through the veil of illusions. So that's what the dieta is, like a time where you set aside in order to focus and concentrate one's energy. And then so there's many different methods of dieta, and people have to seek out what works best for themselves. And usually, these dietas are you can, now it's popular, these shorter day dietas, and those are good to accumulate, accumulating wisdom, and you can receive pearls of information throughout those. And so it's good to not to be too severe with oneself either. And so shorter, dietas of 3, 5, 7, or 9 days. It's good to do odd days too, because it's about creating an energy of motion. And so odd numbers represent motion, whereas even numbers represent stagnation. So dietas are always 3, 5, 7, 9 days, and throughout that time when we removed from having to associate with a lot of people, that's why sometimes it's hard to get that much time away. So 3-day dietas can work good, where you can go somewhere where you can be hopefully completely alone. And then you can practice your invocations, you can practice different methods of Qigong, and you can basically also work on strengthening one's will and conviction by eating extremely simple and less food, chewing it a lot and swallowing it. But in the book it talks about very specific Amazonian dietas, like the way to eat green bananas, from one side to the other, to the end, so that, because if you break the banana and eat it, it's like the bananas is an energy of wholeness, because the banana grows in the field and then ripens and goes back to the earth and keeps, so it's already touched in, it's pure, because they're it's this plant, it's a sacred plant, and so you eat the plantain from one side to the other without breaking it, in order to get that energy of wholeness as well. And so many dietas, many virtuous acts of goodness are like little rings that you keep stacking inside the body, little energy rings, until that energy grows. It's the energy of integrity, the energy of wholeness, the energy of concentration that allows one to pierce. Like with a magnifying glass, if you move it and you get it to the right exact spot, it shines down, it can burn. And that's how the dieta is. You want to accommodate yourself with the right circumstances, so that you can get focus your energy to a point where it's piercing, like a magnifying glass, amplifying and with focusing energy of the sun to the point where it can burn through something like that. That's the essence of a dieta.
Okay, and so some of the dietary restrictions, you mentioned the green bananas a second ago. What are some other dietary restrictions that apply?
Well, the restrictions that apply are basically you don't want to do anything too excessive, so you don't want to eat too much food, or else you're going to overwork the organs. And if you want to learn about our spiritual energies, then the organs have to be not overworked. So that's why you eat just a little bit of food and well eaten, so that there's less stress on the organs, and so you can focus more on the energy centers. Because if the organs are working too much, attention goes there, basically. And that's what happens when we eat. The organs start working, and that's when our energy won't be able to be liberated to focus on the energy centers. And then, but for example, the green bananas are eaten from one side to the other side, and then the peels aren't placed anywhere where ants can take it away, or in the compost. As a hole is dug, and it's put into the hole and buried after each food. When one is doing a dieta, it's good to have nothing extra, extremely zen, and also don't bring even a writing book, not even a book to read, nothing, because that's all focusing outside of oneself. And the dieta, you want to go inside to focus on the energy centers. And the external concentration is taken away from the true purpose of the dieta, which is to refine one's internal energies, where they can become piercing, to open up the energy centers, to open energy blocks in the spine and the brain. So when you do a dieta, no book, no paper and pencil, no anything to do anything external. You want to hopefully be alone and just sit there and meditate.
No sexual release.
Well, the thing is that the sexual release is also again taken away from our internal cultivation. So, the people use sexuality to invigorate themselves, or to achieve spirituality, and that's fine too. But one thing is one thing, another thing is another thing. If you're doing a dieta to learn the path of drinking medicine, sexual abstinence is a prerequisite amongst all the traditions. And also the Sequoia, for example, when related to sexuality, when when they're drinking the medicine, they don't engage in sexual intimacy. They wait until the medicine is passed from their body, at least 3 minimum 5 days, and then they can sleep. The couple sleep together. But there's a lot of sexual promiscuity nowadays, and that interferes with learning the medicine path. Um, if men who have are engaging in sexual intimacy while drinking yahe, maybe nothing bad will happen to them, but you can have the visions.
And so, like, I oftentimes know that they use very little spice, if any, and a lot of herbs are contraindicated, as well as the salt.
That's another thing too. Spices basically are stimulating. So the objective of the dieta is to learn how to refine our energy. In order to do that, we have to be externally. We have to lessen desire, lessen impulse, lessen stimulants. And so, for example, that's why no hot food or cold food. Also, that's why you have to maintain like a balanced disposition too, not get angry or too sad, or nothing in extremes as well. That's why it's not good to practice the dietas for such a long period of time, unless. But it's good to go like an ebb and flow, like for start with short ones and continue them and then extend them longer, and then little by little, go strengthen. Because if you launch yourself too quickly into one that's like too severe, then it's also a form of extremism, and the body for the most part isn't ready to go to just throw yourself into the cauldron like that, and so it can have negative side effects and won't actually accomplish the results that one is most seeking.
Mm. Cool. So as far as how long does a shaman or a medicine person, how long might they partake in a diet for once they build up to higher levels?
It depends on the person. Like I say, on their background and like how they're disciplining or what they've already done with their lives. And so it's different for each person. Some usually, like with the sequoias, like it's a lifelong path that they do, but they're not so severe in their dietas. They eat like chili peppers, but they have like a traditional way of life that they use the yahe to align to, because the everyday life of the sequoia is very challenging. You have to have a lot of personal energy to live that life. Like there's no refrigerators or electricity, and so you have to basically go fishing or hunting or get to the garden every day for the food, and so it takes a lot of energy, and so the yahe gives them energy to uphold their traditional way of life. And then through many years of drinking, many years, and then in participating in ceremonies with the elders, then little by little they start understanding more and then obtaining more energies and spirit allies and helpers. So they extend, and the sequoias are very adamant about that. That there's no rush in the path to spiritual, basically growth, and it's something that has to be stretched out over a long period of time.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if you enjoyed this talk and you would like to subscribe to see more videos, you can click the link below to subscribe. And do encourage you to check out Jonathan Miller's book on Amazon, Rainforest Medicine. And if you are interested in seeing some of the other work I'm involved in, feel free to check out the website and the link below. I really enjoyed listening to you speak, so thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.